I threw myself into my work, and Almaz Antav was happy to see the improved work ethic. While Ina was sick, I was almost fired. That would have endangered everything Ina and I had worked so hard for. It would have voided our passes into VGO. Now hers was gone. And so was she. No, I cannot fall back to this. The anger, the sadness. Always it comes back to her being gone. I cannot focus on that now. There is so much to do before the morning. I needed to work. I needed to get my mind off her. Timeline: 4 days before Estrella, 1652. In the evening, I retired to my basement workspace. I neglected to eat dinner, and as a result found myself easily irritated. 2 more screws here, I said. Talking to myself while working helped me to focus. It allowed me to make sure I didn't miss any steps while making things. And this project was important. The radiation shielding needed to be perfect, both inside and outside. We'll check the Geiger counter later. I don't have time for this shit. I set the machine core to the side and changed my focus to another portion of the machinery. The converter. This will need sturdier wiring. Perhaps dioxymethylene coating will suffice? No, too caustic. They definitely will eat through cables in a few decades. Something stronger. A polycarbon wrap? I leaned against the table, both palms flat against it. Ina would know what was best. She was the best chemical engineer in all of Russia. I slapped my hands down hard, harder than I thought, rattling the pieces all over the table. The machine core bounced off the table and smacked against the ground. The sound of crunching metal greeted my ears. God damn it! Everything is going wrong! I picked it up from the floor and cradled the broken core in my hands. Well, it clearly isn't strong enough yet. I chuckled as I stared at the cracked and broken core. Back to the drawing board, I shrugged as I tossed the prototype core into a pile of other garbage. Several hours later, I ended up with a much improved core. It had significant resistance, and I was working on the last bolts. They needed to be sealed with a specific corrosion-resistant material, which I also had manufactured with Ina's help. Only last bolts now. Then I can scan and send the schematics to Almaz Antav, easy as cake. Is that how that goes? No, that is not the adage. English is ignorant. I rolled my eyes as I picked up my wrench, hefting it in my hand. The weight felt good. It felt real. It kept my mind focused as I worked. Halfway through fastening the last bolt, which required a considerable amount of force, my hand slipped off the spanner and my palm raked across the now stripped bolt head. Ah! I shouted in agony as blood poured from my hand, my tool falling to the floor. You stupid piece of shit! I picked up the machine core and hurled it as hard as possible against one of the block walls in the basement. It smacked against the wall and fell to the floor. The clang of heavy metal resounded around the small room. God damn it all! I stepped over to the medikit I kept in the basement and wrapped up my hand. Another setback. I headed over to the core on the ground and picked it up. I turned it about in my hands and noticed that everything was still intact. Is much stronger. Bolt is not in perfect position, but Almaz Antav will not care. I am thinking. Project complete. I spent a few moments scanning the project blueprint into my computer, using my 3D scanner, and emailed it off to Almaz Antav. Within seconds, I received a confirmation email, along with a short note at the end. Godspeed, Vlad Nardoir. That was it then. The only job remaining was to begin my transition into VGO. Well, that, and to see the grave of my lost beloved one last time.